Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crux. I am pleased to be joined by Ben Vaske, a rising star in the asset management world, CFA and manager of investment strategy at Orion, as well as a really great guy. Ben and I had the pleasure of attending the BlackRock Models Conference together, where we both took tons of notes. What was one thing that you wrote down that you have repeated the most to people that you've talked to since then?
Yeah, and Eben, thanks for having me. It's great to join the Crux. I've followed this for a little bit now. The one thing that really resonated for me, and it's something that I think we all talk about a lot, but hadn't heard it in such succinct language before, was using model portfolios in your practice is more of a business decision than an investment decision. Really, the time savings of what you can add to your practice is really the goal of using those model portfolios. And so I think that kind of one sentence, succinct way of saying that was really wrapped up nicely.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And the way I sort of took that, or maybe somebody actually said this, is that time spent with your clients goes on the P side of the P&L, and everything else goes on the L side.
Absolutely. Yeah, the more time you can spend in front of your clients and less time selecting funds, selecting stocks is more for that bottom line for sure.
Yeah. One of the speakers talked about advisors using a set of specifically defined models that they could then build custom plans around as mass personalization. How did that ring with you?
I think that's the goal of everything we do, right? We can never take the personalization out of our business. That is why investors work with us and work with you as advisors as well. But you're also a business owner and you're running a business and you have to figure out this way to provide the mass to mass personalization. And so in terms of, being able to construct a model, but be able to move around the edges to personalize and whether that's through a story or whether a specific asset allocation within that model, I think that's very imperative to being able to both scale and provide the kind of custom high touch advice that your clients are used to getting.
It also leads to a higher valuation of the practice when you have a totally organized structure where they can see, all right, this person is in this model and I understand why, rather than, a sort of stratification of rock where you've got some people here depending on when it was, and oh, this is when I was interested in this manager, and it's just sort of chaos of different funds and tickers.
And to the point of the mass, right? Again, it is and that point about a business valuation is if someone was to take over your business, it's already quite a hurdle to meet all the new clients, learn about what makes them tick, what's going on with their families, what their financial goals are, and so one less thing for that new advisor to take over is always a benefit.
Yeah. Another person talked about the 4 Ds of model creation, which are design, develop, deploy, and defend. I love this. How does this strategy fit in with the way that you think about models and how should be positioned inside of an advisory practice?
Yeah, I think this was another one of those kind of just succinct messages that resonated with something that we already believe and already think about. This idea of a 4 Ds, easy to remember, of course. But this is our goal, and it ties back to that mass personalization too, is what is the objective that you're trying to do? Is it time savings? Is it investment performance? Is it a manager you like to work with? And then developing that strategy around those parameters of saying, what works best for my business and what works best for my clients. Uh, Deploy, of course, we have to get this in front of our clients, get that sign off. And then the defending becomes, I think, a lot easier, right, as an advisor, to defend your philosophy in that regard when you're able to hire managers and occasionally you might have to fire managers as well. And so I think in that defense, it separates you a little bit from that investment decision making piece and saying we have partners that we work with, and sometimes they work and sometimes they may not be as in favor, and that allows you to kind of maintain your seat as that advisor rather than making your full value proposition based on beating the market, right? And so that's much more where this whole process again becomes much more a business decision than an investment decision in that regard.
Yeah, and I like what you mentioned there. I mean, it's an opportunity. The defend part is you're articulating a coherent investment framework that, your clients can then adhere to and understand rather than, sort of haphazard structure or lack thereof. Um, and one of the things that I love that someone said was that the assets are concentrated among the most efficient advisors. So again, like this is on the business side of things. It brings you more efficiency, allows you to articulate your philosophy and bring the customized mass personalization to your clients. It was very
Precisely.
it was a great day and I'm glad we got to share it together.
Absolutely. It's always good to see you and always good to be out there in New York City, especially in the summer.
Thanks very much for joining me today, Ben.
Thanks, Evan.
Take care.